for the follow. Hey 1266. What's going on, everybody? Welcome. We don't have Belmer with us today, and double checking, but I don't think we have Scarfy with us either. But that's fine. They're just taking a day off. Alright, so today we got Curlfang. What's up, Curlfang? And we have our guest, Pen ENL. And 13 months in a pandemic, we're all tired. First of all, happy 5 months of IPPON Podcast. It's 5 months, literally. We started 5 months ago today. And we're already back with 10, who was with us like during the first month. Thanks for coming back. But yeah, we already gave you a normal interview, so we're gonna be focusing today on like the game and ENL stuff, because you're so knowledgeable about all that. Am I right or am I right?
But knowledge about the game is me. Okay?
First, let's just start with season 5. What's the vibe?
I mean, compared to 4, like season 5 is just gonna be developing season 4 stuff. Honestly, like I know the people who saw my tweet about the new weapons, the great gear, and the wheel, I'm gonna call it, aren't exactly the greatest weapon. The gear is a little bit more useful than the wheel itself in regards to like, and this is me talking like competitive play. Like obviously, like the weapons look sick, especially the wheel. It looks really, really well designed. It looks really cool. But like competitively speaking, I mean that weapon should just not see play ever. The hammer can see play, but I would rather have skate or sushi. Though I mean, really the only weapon that would probably see play, or I would expect to see play, would be the other katana. So like this, and you know, again, because we don't have a new map either, and we have one new card, albeit impactful, but I'll get there. One new card, it's kind of like season 4 meta, but you're playing with an extra weapon, an extra card. So it might seem a little, it's probably gonna be samey for the most of this season, but we'll see how, even though things kind of maintain, like might seem like they're the same, the metas do evolve. It's just going to be a lot less obvious, due to the lack of new things. Yeah.
So from a broad look, samey.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything that was put in though was permanent, except new game mode, of course.
Yep.
But how do you feel about other permanent features? Like, what's the metal gotcha? How do you feel about that?
I kind of rolled a lot on that. I like it. I like it a lot for the people. So like, it kind of, I guess my opinion on it is that it's good for the people. It's better for the people who don't buy the battle pass, because it actually lets them get skin. Yeah. But like for the people who buy the battle pass, it's kind of just like you're kind of just rolling it to get that one skin that you don't already have, and then you just get to use that from now to the end of time. But for the people who actually have to consume the skins, it's pretty good for them. Other permanent stuff like the tutorial. So I was actually tempted. I know, talked to some people. I was tempted to actually like stream the tutorial and go over the tutorial as a whole. because like making tutorials is not like, if you think making a tutorial is easy, you're just completely wrong. It's like probably one of the hardest things to do, because right, coming from a perspective, like most of us have played this game since release, so we know things, and like things that are obvious to us, and you probably heard this a million times, but like things that are obvious to us might not be obvious to new players. So when you're going to make a tutorial, you're like, oh, making a tutorial is easy, just have to add this and this and this, and you know, it might turn out you miss the very simple stuff that you know by the back of your hand, but the new player might have no idea what you're talking about. But like going through the tutorial, it was okay. Just like getting into the game, just explaining things, and I liked the fact that you know you could repeat the trials. You know, it was, you had to do it multiple times. You had to do it multiple times to actually pass that section. Not too much text to have to read, a lot of visuals. But in regards to like the detailed stuff, wasn't really there in regards to like interactions between weapons and such, but that's kind of like shouldn't be expected, for the most part.
I think it's like such a huge step up from launch. I remember like weeks in, I learned something like literally like how to break a weapon or something. I don't know. And I was like, what? I did not know this for like weeks.
Yeah, like so I'm going through like, so I kind of like, I had my notepad open. I was like, okay, going through this tutorial, what did they not cover? And I mean, obviously, right, aside from like the complicated, like the more advanced stuff, but like in terms of the basics, like the only issues I had were like some sections they should have put earlier in the tutorial compared to later. I think breaking weapons was one of the ones, whereas why is it this late in the tutorial when it really should be earlier, since that's kind of one of the core things about the game. But like it was still there, which is pretty okay. Like you don't really need to know how to press the weapon break button to like beat the game, you know?
I agree, because I did not know how for weeks.
Yeah.
Yo-Yo was broken, but no excuses.
It's like I think one of the main things that I was upset that they didn't add was the special combos for every weapon, because like we take those for granted, but I played the game for months, like for I think like 2 months, without knowing that there were special combos for a weapon. For example, like the katana finisher combo, if you do down on the 4th hit instead of holding neutral, it does an extra like 50 damage.
Oh yeah, it doesn't tell you the. Yeah, I know exactly what you're doing now. Okay.
And like the tutorial doesn't go over that, and like that's kind of like huge. Like if you ask, like we're all of us, know competitive stuff, know that you have to kill fast in this game. You have to get EPONs fast, or someone, their teammate's gonna come help, or you're gonna get third-partied if you're playing Battle Royale. And like not knowing that stuff is really big, because you miss out on a lot of EPONs just by not, knowing that small tidbit of information.
It's like that fat down slam on surfboard, right?
Oh my, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. because it's one of those things where, okay, you know how to do that, congratulations. You can secure EPONs immediately on the greater majority of the cast, compared to having to do the whole slow 4th hit of that with that weapon, or with those weapons.
Yeah, it's kind of upsetting seeing like scrap and things pop by 2, right?
Yeah.
Just not have that kind of.
Yeah, like. Yeah. So I kind of wish they went over that in the tutorial, but like, I think it's okay. It does what it needs to do, but obviously, right? Like some people wanted it to do more, and I don't blame them. But in regards to actually having a tutorial that teaches you the bare basics of the game, I think it does a job pretty well.
It's also really nice that they incorporated it into the story mode they have, and like made it a chapter. I don't know, I like that.
I had a problem with that a little bit, because it took me some time to actually try and find where the tutorial was. I was like, hey, where is this supposed to be? And like, Yeah, it kind of goes all the way back to one of the issues that people had literally on the month of the launch of the game. I remember, you know how like all the icons at the bottom, they're just not labeled at all.
Yes.
That's an issue that people have had since like the game launched. And like, of course, now it's a little bit less due to other factors coming into play. But like, it's always one of the things that's been like as a new player, you kind of just have to guess what like each tab is based on the images. Some of them are obvious. You have to play, and then your closet has the hanger on it or whatever.
Right,
but then you get to like just scroll and like
what are these
you get to like one of the you get to like one of the icons and your character is like meditating. You're like, I don't know what this is. You go to another icon and it's like your character is on the PC. You don't know what they're doing. You don't know what that could mean. You have the options menu being you literally lying down sunbathing. You're like, you can't really know what that is at first glance. Obviously, you click on it and you're like, oh, okay, this is this is this, and like this is that. But regards to general clarity, maybe.
You're so
Maybe. Not the worst thing, but
what about old stuff like balance changes? How are you about those? I'm just gonna say, I think all of them are great. Every one of them.
oh, I need to double check
The
that.
most notable ones are obviously Ghost got a little nerfed, Utsu got hugely nerfed, and Popeye and Cerberus got buffed for
So-
like core weapon attacks.
I was kind of like a little like, obviously I look like whenever I do patch notes for like any game, I always read this stuff multiple times. So like, and well, actually before I even get to my actual explanation, let me just, hey guys, Popeye Cerberus. I said it last season. Guys, tune in the broadcast. Popeye Cerberus, really good weapons in team battles. You should play them. They're pretty okay. And turns out they get pretty buffed this patch. I'm saying if
Wish you played them.
if they start seeing more play, just like Home Run Surfer, I get to say I was right all along. So yeah, but like overall, right, Popeye Cerberus definitely needed the changes. It got like it just couldn't do anything individually without like your opponent like misplaying heavily. Its moves were too slow. It's really good now. Like BR, I know DD Dudley is gonna be performing way better this season compared to last season in Battle Royale due to these changes. Because these changes are more like teams. You don't really care about a lot of the changes that they made, honestly, because there's very low chance that you're like actually 1v1ing people, or there's a low chance that you should be 1v1ing people with this weapon. So it really matters kind of less. So you should always be with your team. But like in BR, this hits different. The heal fields getting super armor, I felt like it should have had that all along. And yeah, I mean, basically what it is. Scout Saber. Sorry, what were you gonna?
Was always that they were so fun, but they sucked. Like they were so fun. I hate hammers, and I just want to play them.
It was one of those things where like you can't play it how you want to play it. Like I know like people categorize weapons in this game as like you have your like offensive, and then you have your like defensive, and then you have like your support weapons. Like this, like before the changes, this was literally the support weapon. Like you don't attack people with this weapon. You just show up, you throw balloons or laser, you put down the heal field, and if your teammate gets a bind, you help them out and finish in the EPON, but that's about it. You never initiate anything, right? And you're still relatively effective. Now it's just like, now you can play the weapon how you can play every other weapon in this game. You can probably just run at people and you're actually a threat.
And I like that because a lot of people said it was a team weapon just because they threw the heal on it. And I was like, that's not fair. Like, it's a whole class.
Yeah, so these changes are really big. Scrap Saber Chewing V, I felt like they needed changes. Like I picked up, I loaded the game up season 4. I entered the training room. I pressed the ZL button once, and I was like, yeah, these weapons need to be changed, because hitting like combos just felt so clunky to me. I didn't like it very much, and I'm really happy that they made the they didn't actually didn't necessarily. I mean, I guess by their wording, they might have. Oh no, by their wording, they didn't buff the speed, but just making it easier to chain combos is really big for the weapon. I think it needed it. And then obviously the froggy block Twitter clips that you see, the Twitter combos with that, easier to do now.
Oh
Which
my
I
god.
like.
Anybody who's here for the grudge match, Kurofan got me with the most disgusting
Yup.
froggy block combo. I was like, I wish that wasn't on stream.
Yeah, landing those combos is gonna be easier, which is kind of big. Because like I feel like that was the way that the weapon would, like, block doesn't really. It has its like utility purposes, but I feel like that, like, using it offensively is kind of one of the things that they wanted the weapon to be able to do.
Yeah.
Makes it easier.
Yeah, just the speed up time. The time it takes to cast is way better.
And because of the passive.
Also means you'll get more heals off of the passive.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you get more kills, it does more damage, you know?
Right, it
Kind
was
of
so
the
meant
unique
to be
passive
used that
for
way.
Yeah.
So I really like the changes. Change made me happy. Kunai doesn't really matter. Honestly.
Oh, it's better. It's
It's
definitely
better, yeah, but like it's still, you're still dealing with. It will. Well, I hope. I hope it. You know, actually, you know, I want it to go back to season 1.
No, you don't. This is like
I do.
almost in 1. It's totally fine, honestly.
Honestly, it could be a little faster, you know. I think it needs to be like unreactable, so that you get
He's
forced
out of his mind.
50. But yeah, these changes pretty okay. The reason why I say it doesn't really matter is mostly due to metagame being gun launcher and like a lot of them. So by the time your kunai is armed, you're already getting hit by like 2 gum launchers and you can't really do anything. Also, Utsu Semi-Master being the way it was, like, season 1, like, not only was kunai really good, but not a lot of people knew that Utsu Semi was strong, nor did they have the card level to be strong. So whenever you went for like the setup with kunai, you were able to actually get them off a lot easier. Now it's just like if your opponent sees kunai, they kind of just put down an Utsu Semi-Master and then like walk backward, and then you kind of can't really do anything.
I do agree that I didn't even notice, but season 1, those were my enemies. And I didn't even notice like the fall of kunai because I thought it was irrelevant, but we've all been probably annihilated by Muto Nian with his kunai. Season 1.
Like season 1 was like it's funny though, like obviously Utsu Semi-Master has been an issue for a while, for a long time, but like seasons 1 and like halfway through season 2, that card basically wasn't a thing. Like there was maybe, who was it? It might have been Mallet. I don't remember, but you know, because obviously like season 1, I was in the general Discord server. Mallet, Blue Whale, one other, I don't remember their name. I feel bad for not remembering, but one of them was talking about how Utsu Semi-Master is actually giga broken, and we're all like, I think you're crazy. No weapon would act. Now, and I'm pretty sure I typed this. I was like, yeah, what weapon would actually want Utsu Semi-Master? And then like a couple months later, it's now like perma meta for like, and it's been that for like months. So like season 1 was a lot different than, you know, it's like post Utsu Semi and pre Utsu Semi. So kunai definitely felt stronger like season 1, season 2, because Utsu Semi-Master doesn't exist. But now I know that it does exist and it is meta. It made the gum shoot actually not as good, because like I said, right, you see the kunai, you place the Utsu Semi, you kite it out, and it's useless. It doesn't really do anything. You know, it's good for conversion. It's better for conversions now. Also better for helping out your teammates. But other than that, like individually, So that's why I'm like, the change obviously matters. Like when I say it doesn't matter, it's not as much as it should matter. Gum Ghost definitely needed, nerfs, but like I didn't really think it was anything crazy.
I was like, if you're gonna just have 5 gun launchers, don't even nerf it, you know? Like what's really the difference?
Like
struggle.
Like they increased the cooldown time, and like I remember, Kuro might have been there, where it was me and Naza. Naza was talking about how they needed to nerf Gum Ghost, and I'm like, I really don't think it's that strong, and I guess he was right that it needed nerfs. Well, not that right he needed nerfs, but like right in that they thought it needed nerfs, so they nerfed it.
To me, at least it happened when Utsu got nerfed, because if they had buffed Home Run Surfer like that, and then decided to nerf it again before touching Utsu, I'd be like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Did they nerf the amount of gum damage on Ghost? Is that what it was?
No, it's just shortened homing time and increased cooldown, which feels really bad. Cause like the thing about Ghost is like, the thing about Ghost is like, oh, you know, it's really strong because you throw it at someone and there's nothing, like it's gonna track them. It goes through walls, and you know, but then it's just like, hey, you can like walk backwards or play in a way that you just don't get hit by it ever.
Right.
Like
it's tactical, but it's so tactical that you have to set it up
it's
so that
it's
worth it, or I don't know.
literally kunai but worse.
Is it
like
it's like even slower than like, it's so slow too, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't even like, what is the point, right?
You could
you
wear
can
it out
see
now,
it.
easy.
Like you can, so like kunai, right? If you don't see the arm time of the kunai, or you don't see someone launch it, and you turn your camera and you see kunai flying at you, you have to make a split reaction, and that's when you can get hit by the setup, right? But Ghost, right? Someone fires a Ghost off screen, you turn and you look, and the Ghost is just slowly floating your way. You know, you can put your controller down, you know, go upstairs, go make yourself a PB&J sandwich, finish the meal, wash your hands, clean your plate, clean the utensils, walk back down to your desk, sit down, pick up your controller, and then be able to react to it. Like, it's so unbelievably slow that it's just not good. And then now they shortened the homing time, which makes it even worse. In this kind of setups that you would want to do with it, and then cooldown time extended matters a lot less, but like it still just doesn't feel good.
You know what they need to do, I think, and I think this is like a decent buff to all the weapons that maybe want to use wall shooter but don't want to use like the wall shooter gum damage, is like make it so the cooldown when you use it on the wall, it just refreshes part of your gauge.
Yeah.
That way you can like actively use it, because if you're not like, I know pretty much every weapon has a gum shoot cooldown longer than a launcher, right? And so
Yeah.
it just feels bad, right?
Yep.
Oh, I wasn't saying nerf wall shooter. I was saying buff wall shooter. The first.
Yep. First code.
First code. You could probably nerf gum launcher too. I mean,
I've been saying like, well, I don't know if I've been saying publicly, but like I know like gum launcher is like far and away one of the best, if not the best, gum shoots in the game, and it needs to get nerfed in some capacity. But it just hasn't. So
I don't know if it's the homing or I don't know. Something is just too good for it. Like everything, honestly.
Yeah, like the thing about it, it's just like, hey, so we have this gum shoot, right? It homes. It's relatively quick, so it forces quick reactions, right? And quick reactions in these kinds of games are panic options or comfort options, which are easy to read if you like know the player, or you can, if you are a good player, or if you know who you're playing and you know that their habit. And then right? You add the speed, right? It has literally no cooldown, so you can fire at will and never get punished for it because it's just gonna be up in like 2 seconds anyway. It gets Omega buffed by two of the most common cards, right? Stealing Hyena gets buffed by Wall Shooter. It functions extremely well with Utsumi Master. Like, it's just good. Just good. It needs to get changed.
Yeah.
But that's for another day, I guess. Sudden Burst. I don't really care about this card because it's just dash out of parries.
Just dash
Same.
out of parry.
I'm gonna skip over its Master Change. Talk about that one later. Ninja Sense Pro doesn't really matter. Like one weapon uses this card and it's a pocket card for a couple of players. I know, so they're probably happy about this. Lets them get probably lets them add another assist in the cards that actually matter. Two-edge parry. I like this change. I've like low-key been wondering why no one runs two-edge parry, because the initial hit of parry is like almost a lot of the time, or like, you know, a lot of the times when I'm watching, it almost always hits at least one other person. So I feel like it has some value, and I kind of hope people play around this card a little bit more, like, because I feel like especially in teams and like in maps that are close quarters, like, you can just deal with half of someone's HP by getting caught in a parry, by which you just dash out and then press the special button to go your way, you know?
They definitely have been trying to never parry, but it just doesn't work. My brain says no.
It will happen. Get into it. Just gotta know, like, okay, I kind of, you know, just gonna diverge a little bit, you know? Like, well, when I say, like, just dash out of parry, it's like, it's really that simple. Like, if you know that you're in a situation where I don't think that I need to take this parry, just don't take it. And 9 times out of 10, you don't need to take the parry. But the issue is people don't recognize that they don't need to take the parry, and that's why they get caught, right? Like, if you're 20 HP, like if you're 20 HP, but your teammate is right there, dash out of parry. If you're 20 HP and no one is around, and you know that there's a couple of other people there, just take the parry, because you're probably gonna get taken out anyway. You know, you gotta weigh that kind of risks in game and determine if you need to dash out or not. And 9 times out of 10, the answer is just leave. So
You're right. No, you're totally right. Literally 9 times out of 10.
like, it's just like, I know, you know, there's obviously, right, there's the time people are like, yeah, you know, dash out of parry, but dashing out of parry isn't always the best option. It's just like, yeah, of course it's not. If it was the best option every time, people would have recognized it and started dashing out of parry. Like, it's the correct option a lot of the time, but you just gotta know why. You know? Anyway, back to the, like, Gum Guard Master getting changed. I've always liked the card due to Utsumi Master, so I'm happy that it's getting changed, or it's getting buffed. Stealing Hyena getting changed is massive. I don't know. Carl, do you think Stealing Hyena... I mean, both of you, like, I don't think Stealing Hyena is, like, that good anymore. I think it's kind of just bad.
I always
Honestly,
thought it was a certain crowd of people that used it anyway, and I was like, it's good, but I feel like there's options that weigh against it, whereas with Utsumi was like, yeah, I kind of want to make it instead. Always.
Yeah.
After ENL playoffs, like playing before ENL playoffs,
Yeah.
after last season, the card really felt like lackluster. Just because like we found ways to just get Gumbind without needing Hyena. I mean, obviously it's super easy. Like, you hit him once and then you shoot a gum shoot, you gum cancel into a gum shoot, and it's like a free EPON. But like, you know, you could do the same. You just have to stall him a little longer, and you get the same result. So.
Yeah. So I think this card is just worse now.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
I think it's gonna start to get taken. I think it's just gonna start, you know, its spot in a lot of kits is gonna get taken by other cards.
Possibly. It's still cheap, which is nice.
Yeah.
Like a 9 slot in. Or I think it's a 9.
I mean, I think a lot of
Gum
people
damage.
kind of only ran it for the gum damage, and like
Right.
its other 2 assist codes like are really good. Like regardless if the opponent's less than half health, but like the gum damage was kind of the thing that like everyone used it for. So like the
Yeah.
people who really only used it for that probably are not good.
Right.
Kuro told me this months ago, I think. He was like, you shouldn't have to equip a card for its assist slot. Or
Yep.
like over the actual card.
Agreed.
Wait, I thought I said the opposite.
No, yeah, no, you said you shouldn't have to equip a card just to get an assist code. Like
That's
what'd you
debatable.
say then? What'd you say then? You say it,
I
bitch.
thought I said. I mean, I'm pretty sure like. Maybe I guess I probably made that argument with Gum Guard Master just because it's like super good.
Yeah.
But also like there's things like wall shooter isn't wall shooter without its gum damage.
Without it,
assist code.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where like the card costs more than the base card
Yeah,
costs
exactly.
7, but the card actually costs like 13 because you need
Yep.
these codes. Like
Same with like Life Drain. It costs
Yeah.
like at least 16.
yeah, which is kind of like you'd
it's
hope that the base card would be good enough, but some cards just aren't.
Yeah.
But I get that. And then last is the Utsui Master change. Yeah, this card's still good, by the way. So,
Yep.
yeah, this card is still good. Like, these buffs are cool and all, but like the card is still good. It's gonna do the exact same thing that it did before. It's gonna cause the exact same situations as before, and especially in teams, you're basically not gonna feel like there's a difference.
I think one of the main things we got out of the nerf was the shredder clip that said you may laugh.
Yeah,
Guy repeatedly jumping, trying to drop one.
like you can't do that anymore. But like if you were using it like that, you're kind of just wasting everyone's time in the match. I've always said like, you know, like if someone is just jumping up and down over a drone, you can kind of just stand there and just watch them, because like they have to stop eventually if they want to play the video game, and like most of the time they just don't. So you can kind of just watch and stare at them, and like it's like, hey, if they want to do that, hey, let them do it. It's okay, you know. You can go enjoy your playing the game somewhere else, because when they stop, you're just gonna one combo them with your Semi Master and call it a day. You know, it's easy. But yeah, like this card is still like, it's still good. Nothing changed about it. Especially in teams. Like, I think the biggest change is the biggest change isn't even the cooldown time, it's the fact that it's short binds now.
I feel like to me the biggest change is for the other player. Like, there's a lot of players who feel like they see the Utsusemi spam start and they're like, oh, I have an idea for this, but it's just gonna come out again in a second. You're just gonna do it again. And now people have a chance to adapt.
It gives you a bigger window to actually punish, which is really good. But I personally really like the fact that they decided to change it to a short bind. This is because it helps overall, but it hurts some weapons, specifically the laser weapons. Because what you used to be able to do with Popeye, and you know, obviously you would have been able to do it with the fan, but they nerfed Utsusemi this patch, was like laser always short bound people if you hit. It always short binds if you hit 3 lasers, but I believe it was if you hit 2 and hit Utsusemi Master, the Utsusemi Master will trigger the bind and it will be a long bind instead, which let you actually kill people off of full combo. It'll let you actually EPON people off of a full combo. Compared to like short bind, you like hit them twice and they're out of the bind and they can parry instantly. Long bound, they have to eat the full combo, which means a lot. But now that that's gone, it kind of hurts those weapons. Less so the fan, because it's katana, you can EPON quick, but more Popeye and Scrap Saber. it hurts a little bit more. But
Honestly, I think like the whole change with like the shortening isn't even that big of a deal. You can technically you could convert off of a hit into a jump, like drone drop Utsu onto someone's head and then just gum shoot them and get the full bind link still.
yeah, like most, I'm just like I said, like I mean the change definitely like helps overall.
Oh, it definitely does.
Like
Yeah.
because you can't like most, you know, a lot of binds for people who watch, right, you know, a lot of the binds that happened in literally every single game were due to Utsumi Master. Like there would just be a Utsumi Master sitting there, and like the drone would spawn and one would go off, and then someone else would drop one and it would also go off, and you just see like 4 people all bound, like
Yeah,
for
cooldown
like,
definitely was the biggest thing.
but now that it's short bind, it makes the flow of the game just a little bit faster, which is
Yeah, I feel you.
it's really good. Yeah, I mean, I like the patch. It was a good patch.
Patch. I agree. Good patch overall.
I will point something out. Just there is a certain subset of people, I will not name them, that have stopped playing the game and will not come back until they nerf the katana class of weapons. To which I unfortunately informed them that there is a very low chance of that actually happening. Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like it really seems strong because everything else doesn't seem strong. That's kind of like what it is. Like if you look at the entire, like I'm talking the like entire class of weapons, not just like Ippon Katana. Obviously, Ippon Katana is arguably one of the best weapons in the game, due to having just an insane kit that flows really well. But like if you look at like compare the entire katana class of weapons to like the other class of weapons, you can kind of just look and see like weapons like in those other classes that just don't function ever compared to like all the weapons in the katana class. Like, right, let's see if I can go through. Like you have Scrollblade has Utsumi Master convert really easy Utsumi Master conversions, and it has a long range kit. Ippon Katana, I don't need to explain. Drill, gum grenade conversions, high ninjutsu gain, which lets you farm Punishing Blade really fast, would let you play the game the way you want to play. A Shadow at Large, really showcasing why that weapon is really good. A Cornbat, Clay, obviously showing why that weapon is really good. You got Gum Launcher and Dragon to finish kills. Really easy conversions because off of Gum Launcher or off of a hit, because decent amount of hit stun too. You have the fan as well. I clipped. You have a 100 to 0 if you have your ninjutsu gauge. Has the same Utsumi Master conversions as the other katana class. Charging slash into laser into Utsumi, gets you a bind, pop poison, everyone dies, everyone gets Ippon by it. What other weapon? Any other katanas I'm missing? I think that's all.
That's it.
Right, and then like you look at the yo-yos and you have like wheel, and you're like, huh? Or you look at the hammers and like you have like pre-patch Popeye and Cerberus, and you're like, yeah, these weapons they exist. Like you would look at season 4 patch skateboards, and you'd be like, yeah, Home Run Surfer is kind of just there. Same with combo play, kind of like whatever, like that class of weapons just has all of their weapons are really strong compared to like other classes of weapons where like a handful of them are pretty weak. And until like all the weaker weapons get put in line, I'm saying weaker in quotes, but you can't see the air quotes I'm making right now. When all the weaker weapons get brought to par, now we can talk about nerfing katana. But until that happens, I don't think that class is getting changed at all. So yeah. But other than that, pretty good patch. I like it.
The one thing that stood out to me was no weapons other than like weapons got changed really. Do you think everything from like, I don't know, when was the last time they really got touched? I feel, do you think they're as comfortable as the devs think they are?
I think, like, so obviously my biggest issue overall was it's a semi-master. They adjusted it to be a little, you know, a little more brain, a little less mash, especially when you're in like 1v1 scenarios in like BR. Like, how many times in Battle Royale do you get into the corner, one of the corner drones on WNA, and it just becomes who can hit Utsu Semi-Master first? Like, now it's a little bit of like, hey, if I make this guy use Utsu Semi-Master and I don't get hit by it, he kind of just explodes. Like, turns it into a little more of that. But in regards to like weapons, I mean, I think they're as comfortable as they think they are, honestly. It really, like Gum Launcher is maybe like one of the only things that I find is just disgustingly problematic, but other than that, everything is pretty okay. Pretty okay. Obviously there's the whole yo-yo issue, but I think that as of right now, it's less of yo-yo not being strong and more of just other things being just a little bit stronger. And I still think yo-yo is in a fine spot, but with these changes, I think they're as comfortable as they think they are.
So Naza will just run free.
True.
Yeah. I mean,
They
Thinking
fixed it. They
about-
make it work now. They make it work how it's supposed to.
like, one of the things, like, I saw some people talking about it was like, Utsu Semi-Master got nerfed, which means Soundhammer indirectly got buffed, and it's just like, yeah. But, like, also, like, hey, just play around it properly, okay, guys? Play around Soundhammer. Good Soundhammers are still gonna be really good, but, like, there are definitely methods by which you can make them less good, honestly, in my opinion. Right? You know what, if you've played, look, okay, it only takes playing against, obvious, I'm going to use Naza every time. It only takes playing against Naza once, right? Or even, man, I don't even have to go to Naza. It only takes playing against Kurofang once to know exactly what any Soundhammer would want to do, right? And if they're not doing that, they're not playing the weapon to the, I'm gonna use nice words here, they're not playing the weapon to the potential that it could be played at, right? But if you go against one of those two one time, you know exactly what they want, and if you know exactly what they want, the next time you see them or another Soundhammer, you can play around it accordingly. So yeah, so I don't really like, I'm not really like, yeah, Soundhammer, they can run free, but like, play around it properly. And obviously, right, I'm talking in teams. BR, good luck, guys, good luck. I'm not a BR guy, so have fun. That weapon is really a lot better now in BR, so you guys can have fun with that. I'm gonna stay over here in team battle where I have friends to help me manage Soundhammers going crazy in my match. Okay?
So I have to say, I just cycled through all the weapons on stream, and the only game I didn't come in first on was the wheel.
Yep.
Was it McQuick who beat the shit out of me? I think it was McQuick, I don't remember. Oh no, it was
like,
Foglia, but...
Man, the wheel, man, just... I'm so sad. I'm so sad. So, like, I looked at the kit, I was like, there's no way that's real, right? There's no way they just did that. And, like, yeah, they just gave it they gave it Gum Searcher and Shinobi Beast. If it had any other ninjutsu, it would be fine. Like, if it had literally any other ninjutsu, I think, other than Shinobi Beast, I think it would be pretty good. But it has Shinobi Beast, which doesn't work at all with its kit. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I might be proven wrong, but I'm very adamant that weapon is unplayably bad in teams,
well,
at least competitively.
We can at least acknowledge that weapons have come a long way, and maybe it has an end goal.
Yeah, like, that's one of the things. Like, I know, again, like my tweet, I talked about, like, kit, like the cohesiveness of its kit, and like I know there's a little, I got tagged in a back and forth underneath that tweet, But like it was kind of one of those things back and forth that I was like, yeah, I get what both sides are saying. And it's like, one side was saying, hey, like, this weapon, like, it's so bad if it literally, like, as I'm saying, right, if it had any other ninjutsu, it'd actually be a good weapon. But because it has Shinobi Beast or, because it has Gum Searcher, it's bad. And the other person was saying, like, hey, it would make sense if it had something different, but, like, that's not what they really wanted to do. It's not what the company wanted. They just wanted a different kit. And it's just like, yeah, it's cool that it has a cool kit. It has a different kit, but, like, at the end of the day, right, if you look at all the weapons that are considered the best weapons in the game, it's because their kit works so grossly well together that it makes the entire weapon look broken.
Yeah.
Like, for example, right, you look at Ippon Katana and how it wants to play. Yeah. You look at Skate Hammer and how it wants to play. You're like, yeah, it's pretty strong. Not because of anything individually, but how everything works together.
I do feel the disjoint, I mean, especially in the wheel, but it's like when weapons come out, sometimes I do feel that disjoint. And I'm like, the wheel and not the wheel, sorry, the yo-yo and the balloons just felt so good when the game came out.
Like, you can, like, especially like these days, the weapons come out, you like get into a situation, you're like, wow, I really wish I had this ninjutsu right now. And then, like, turns out you look at your weapon, you look at how bad your kit synergizes, and you're like, yeah, it probably would just be better if I had that ninjutsu instead. When the Ippon Katana charging slash, Utsu semi master, gum shoot, tornadoes you kind of have to just put your controller down and be like, yeah, he kind of just outplayed me by picking Ippon Katana, like, or when the Skate Hammer is just literally untouchable the entirety of the game. They go up to a drone, they press gum net, they stand inside the net, you try to contest, they press power buster, their power buster's on cooldown, so you think you have an opportunity. Turns out they have Tenchi Muyo. Oh, by the way, they always have Tenchi Muyo because their weapon charges ninjutsu gauge really fast if they're left alone, which they are a lot of the time because of the giant gum net and power buster, making it possible for you to actually take engagements unless you're playing a weapon that has a really good matchup into the hammers. Yeah, kind of just got counterpicked, outplayed in weapon select. So, yeah. The synergizing kits matters a lot in this game competitively. So there's a reason why, and that's the reason why a lot of weapons get picked and other weapons just don't get picked.
Until they get fixed.
Until they get fixed. Yes. Absolutely.
That's got rock.
What was your thoughts on like the whole shadow parry thing? Just like parry's not working this season.
Yeah, kind of just, yeah, whatever, man. Yeah. Not really much to think. Just like, hey, I kind of wish this wasn't a thing, and I hope it wasn't a thing, but it is. It's not really much I can do about it. It'll just happen. More reason to get people to dash out of parries. Hey, guys, parries are bugged. Stop dashing out of parries. But last time parries were bugged, people still took parries, which made me very confused. Talking about parry blocking. Yes. I didn't quite understand why everyone knew that parry blocking was a thing, and they were not playing the weapon that could do it, yet they were taking parries against weapons that could do it and getting hit by it, which confused me a lot. So I hope that doesn't happen again, with people knowing that parries are bugged and actively going out of their way to take parries when they can dash out of the parry and not have to coin flip RNG. Yes.
Not to backtrack, but that's something you don't find in the tutorial.
Yes. They actually do go over dashing out of parry in the tutorial. I was like,
parry blocking
what,
and shadow
parry blocking? Hey man, what do you mean, man? It's part of the game, man. It's actually now let me stop. I don't want to get into that discussion. I don't want to get into that discussion. It was an interesting tech, as they said. So, yeah. But that is a discussion for another day that I don't wish to have right now.
Let's talk about something fun like April Fool's Day.
Oh man.
None of these? Oh yeah, they're all here. Okay. You're not the only one that had good April Fool's jokes for Ninjala this year, but yours
Thank
was
God.
probably my favorite because of the overall different reception.
Yeah, that was, I was amused. I was amused. So what ended up happening was like, so this was literally like the morning. I was up, I was up, playing games till 3, and then I was thinking about ENL stuff as I usually do in the AMs, and I was like, oh, it's April Fool's. What if I just make this video? And how I got there was like I was just going through like my I was going through my videos on Switch, like all the clips that I took, and I was kind of just going through my pictures because I was looking for a new background, a new PC background, and I knew I had some pictures from the greatest game of all time, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, on the Nintendo Switch. So I went to go look for those photos, and I saw some Splatoon clips that I had, and I'm like, huh, I really did that. And I was like, huh, what if I just made this a video? And so I downloaded all the clips and literally made it that morning. That's why I had the mistake of putting the same clip twice in there, because I was literally doing it at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. I hadn't slept in a bunch of hours, so I was kind of just going. But it turned out better than I expected after I went to bed and actually looked at it again after it was posted. Pretty good. But
Scrolled through all the reactions. It started out with oh my god, and then it was huh, and then it was you're not fooling me, and then the last couple are like, haha.
like I was reading through these reactions. I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, I see this person say this. And then the funniest, I think one of the ones, I woke up and I saw Starling's haha got him, and I was like, yeah, I definitely did. Definitely did get them. Totally. But
my favorite one also, because of the content, was Sog's fucking Marista. How did she make this? How did she make this?
Top tier.
Like, how did she make this?
S tier.
If you like the fact that it's like the selected piece of equipment and it's like tilted a little bit, and and like she adjusted the whole weapon roster so that it fit there. I don't know, crazy. It's just perfect.
Really a really good one.
I think I saw like, anybody in reply say they were cool? Somebody
I
said
want
they
this
were
weapon in the
cool.
game. The kid is so good.
Wait, laser gummy beast froggy block.
How did she make the kit that's,
Wheel
just get rid of
deserve.
Shinobi Disco, please. Can we put something better on Scrap Saber, please? I'm begging you.
Man, what's wrong with the disco, man? Jeez. You don't like dance parties?
Disco to anything and you lose, literally.
Oh, well. Alright,
Not even, but still, disco not on the guitar, disco not on the magical scepter.
It
disco
doesn't
on
make
the
sense.
stop
Yeah,
stick.
it doesn't make sense that it's
Disco
not on the guitar. Let's just be honest.
God.
They had to have like thought of something way too far down the line.
Like, come on,
And we're like,
Lucy's
"Oh,
backstory,
shit."
like, it just doesn't make sense, She pulls out the stop sign.
Time to party, bitches.
Yeah. Disco.
For real.
Like, if anything, like, I expected that to get, like, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Hey, man. Hey, don't sleep on the disco, man. Dance party does go crazy sometimes.
Oh, this is the only one that actually got me. Like, I was got because BC, all I hear was, oh, you're a free agent now?
Oh, my
And I didn't even think that it was still April 1st, and I was like, what the hell is going
I
on?
actually didn't think it was either.
It's always everything you read that day. You always gotta do a time check.
I
Okay,
know.
you
The last
gotta
minute
read
one.
it. You gotta look at
Clearly.
the date and time. Everything will make sense.
I went into chat and I was like trying to be in the loop. Who's gonna tell me what's going on? And they were like, "Chill, it's literally an April Fool's joke." But it's okay. I feel like no, maybe one other person. Oh, Lucy in chat. Might have been Lucy. We were fooled. We're emotional Pisces gamers though, so it's no surprise. There was also trying to get. I'm just gonna go on Twitter now. I don't know. I didn't get a link. But C Gamer, what the hell was that about? C Gamer.
This was my favorite one. One of my favorites.
Comics and legendary.
Next to Styles, probably.
It's tough to scroll down to when his name isn't. Was his name banned that day too?
Yeah, yeah.
His name isn't
Just
banned
converted
anymore,
over.
But it's still all. Just imagine you see Van on the screen with all of it. Wow, he tweets a lot of clips. C Gamer.
I know, damn.
Hey man, he's a gamer, bro. Straight up.
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go. Right here. Right? Okay. Van's here. My story links to the anime episode.
Oh, that was.
Quote himself beating the shit out of Dojo Van. Dot,
Oh
dot,
my
dot.
God. Nah, that one got me, man. Oh, got me.
The profile pictures. I've come so far. Where's the
CPU one? That one's
yeah,
my favorite.
Yeah,
one.
it was me in the training room all along. You
Oh, here we go.
imposter. This is my favorite. Oh my god, an epic battle. Van v Van in the dojo. This man was committed all day.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's
real
props,
Van.
honestly. Major props.
Oh, wait. The end. Yup, he just kept going. He just kept going all day. Things I do to help you guys train. Gets beat up.
Oh,
Just freaking Jeb or what? Fan hair was acceptable on April.
agreed.
Oh, he did it again. Who's C Gamer? What's a reset? You can no longer play as Van. Oh, did he make this cute little? This is cute. He made a cute little Nintendo
It is cute, right?
graphic. Aw,
I thought so too.
what an amazing treat we all got. And the last big one was this one got me laughing. Logic Motion made a YouTube video saying that the next collaboration for Ninjala was Family Guy. And we had a Baraka Lois outfit and a Peter Burton outfit in the video. He said that he got them commissioned for the video, but if you look, did he put the picture up? I don't know where I saw a picture, but he put a picture up of all the people that actually believed him in the comments, and it was an impressive amount of no way, Family Guy, how is this happening? And I was like, wow, he really got the hell out of it. Like it was kind of the biggest one. Ninjala collab has been leaked, and I'm honestly shocked. Who in their right mind would have expected Family Guy? This is huge. Come look as we analyze here. We got, yep, Nick definitely was not fooled, but that's a community manager, so that's fine. Looks like Twitter wasn't fooled, but his YouTube comments definitely stood behind the fact that he got people. Ferniku, go follow Ferniku. He drew those amazing pictures. That was some good Ninjala crossover. From
It was,
artists.
honestly.
I think that was
They
it.
really did the art
Oh,
well.
I forgot Scarfy. Yes, we said Scarfy's bitch ass because he's not here. Let's just look at it.
Forgettable.
Really
I'm just.
quick. This one just made me upset. What was it? Oh, comment here to enter for a Meiji chocolate giveaway. Her comments off. Piece of shit.
the amount of giveaways that were like, hey guys, do you realize that you're not actually gonna give anything away, right? Like,
Oh my god, I woke up and I was like, what happened? What happened? And I was like,
I was like,
oh.
I was like, guys, can we not? Like, you didn't look. If you look at Ferenx's giveaway, oh my gosh, like, man, I should have done that to farm impressions. Oh my goodness. Like the numbers on that, I'm like, guys, like, come on, there's no way, right?
Oh my god.
No way. Like, no one checked the date. Y'all got caught.
Yeah, I definitely needed to wait.
I think Cam did the same thing.
Yeah.
Cam said, I reverse April Fools. Let's look at Cam. Is it like Cam? Why can't I find him?
It's like Cam.
Wait, you like just followed me on Twitter yesterday.
Oh, this.
Notification here. Is that a thing? Yep.
Oh, you
now
actually
it's
gave
just-
him away.
What do you mean? What?
Did you give these away or no?
I don't know. I'm looking. Let's look. Let's find out. Cam, what'd you do?
He was giving away the cards. Did you actually give them away or not?
Oh, you don't tweet a lot. I already went by April 1st. Here it is. Okay. I actually did give them away. Oh, good guy, Cam.
go.
The Easter Bunny
Honorable.
himself.
Honorable.
That's true.
Ooh,
Very honorable.
who won? Wait, can I scroll up and find a winner? Lane, Zephyr, and someone, I don't know. Follow you, so. I'm gonna get those skins. You got a whole super robot coordinate up there?
I know, right? That's
Okay,
crazy.
you gotta remember to make sure and kind of fall for it next time. Video game. There it is. Alright, so ENL starting. When is ENL starting?
This weekend.
This weekend. That's in 5 days, 4 days.
Yep. Price.
How are you feeling going into it?
The same. It's not really anything. And this is kind of like half due to school draining my soul, but the other half due to some other things that I've been talking to people about regarding what I actually want to do with ENL moving forward. But that is a discussion that is details are I really want to talk about too much. I don't want to give too much away. But
I like that.
yeah, don't want to give too much away. But I like so by the time the season ends, I'm out of school. It's summertime for me. I have a little bit less of the weight of actually having to do my schoolwork over my head, which clears my mind a lot more when it comes to doing stuff like this. Like, you might see me on other stuff doing other things, but I promise you it is like a lot less brain power than having to figure out what I'm doing with ENL. Like, it's probably one of the harder things for me to figure out what I want to do for these seasons and how I want to approach these seasons. So, like, hopefully, this season can go well, and next season there can be some overhauls in regards to a lot of things, hopefully, but just gonna take some time, so be patient. Although it doesn't really it doesn't really seem like I have to ask any of you anything because we basically hit the same amount of people as last season, which is really good, or I think is really good. Still 22 teams, 145 players. Makes me pleased to know that we're still maintaining people. Even we might be losing some, but we're also gaining turn, which as it stands, pretty good.
We saw how many new teams off the top of your head that weren't in it before, or maybe
Let's
are
see.
returning. Weren't in it last season.
So obviously, well, we have Selfish Access has a second team. Has some people who have not played, and if they have not played much. Lotus, no Bloom. Lotus is back. Has the core roster that they ran with a long ago. Galaxy, far away. It's been a while since this team last got together, so see how well they played together. DX, don't really think I need to say too much about them.
You said Lotus, New Groove.
Lotus, New Groove, of course,
New
man.
Groove.
Of course, man. Lotus, New Bloom, but yeah, same difference. But DX is playing. I don't really need to explain much about them. I really want them to come out and play well. Obviously, over the course of this game, not really been given the respect that they deserve. So hopefully they can come out there and show just how good they are. Same thing relative Shinobi Splash. They have entered as well. I pray for their success. They've picked up some pieces. Both teams have picked up some pieces from, if not from EPON Masters, but they have people who have played with them. So they know the process, and hopefully they can make DX and Shinobi Slash adjust accordingly. Ninjaverse is another new team. A&W Nerd heading that agenda, full of former Project Shinobi members, kind of the last bastion of Project Shinobi members before that class unfortunately disbanded. So they're under a new name. We will see how they perform. And last but not least, Techno Overdrive. And I know absolutely nothing about any of the members on Techno Overdrive, which makes me happy because the last time that was the case, it was at least the last time that I kind of knew the members of Almond Break. I just didn't know how well they would play together. They did play well together. The last time that happened was WNX. WNX, I did not know any of the players who played on that team 2 seasons ago. And they turned out to be a really good team. So we'll see if this team can do the same thing, pull out some upsets, do their dance and make their way up to the top.
How long is this season running?
It's gonna be running. We're basically running effectively 7 weeks. Effectively a 7-week season. Season format again. This is the first time I have not actually announced the format in full to the teams. But if there are any watching, yeah, feel free to go tell your team. It's gonna be bi-weekly format. It's gonna be this week, and then next week, and then there's gonna be a week off, and then next week, and then the week off next week, have a week off. We have the last week, and then one extra week, and then playoff. So, yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yep.
Love to hear the bi-weekly thing.
Nice and relaxing midway through the season, since I know that's when things get a little rough around edges. Give some extra time for teams to figure out who goes where, what does what. On the other side of things, a lot of stuff at the beginning and a lot of stuff at the end. I get you guys in gear and we get a little bit more stuff.
What made you want to do this kind of playoff way for seeding, for group seeding?
Let me like go over format in entirety. I know Black asked me. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on with the format?" And I'm like, "Hey man, let me read what I said. I said bi-weekly group bracket format. It's a lot of words, but very easy. Right? It's simply just every other week. You're basically going to be playing in a bracket with 6 other teams, and it's just going to be like any other tournament bracket. The reason why I decided, or I wanted to do this way, and I will elaborate on this a little more to the teams specifically, to the spectators. You'll figure it out first day, okay? First day of regular season, I'll go. But basically, I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to have a bi-weekly format, but I didn't want to drastically cut down on the number of games that teams would play. Right? Like, if I were to only do like 4 weeks, like it would basically only be like 4 or 5 weeks, which means no round robin, basically. No round robin because I would need 3 teams, which is at least 6 weeks. Or sorry, no double round robin, which I would need 6 weeks for at the bare minimum.
Last season?
Last season was double round robin. And additionally, if I did it the way that it was done season 0, seasons 1, then teams would only be playing 4 games, which is a little boring.
Yeah.
So, I wanted a lot of games, but I also wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed overall. Yeah.
Period. I know you said you didn't know anybody from that new team, but are there any names that you do recognize that haven't played yet? Or is it just some old hat and people you've never heard of?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, so obviously, right, like when I say like, yeah, I don't know any of the members of Techno Overdrive, it's kind of the sense that I literally have not seen them play. Like, I might have run into them in game, but I didn't know it was them.
Right.
I just haven't seen them play. DX, I have not seen a lot of the specific players play, but I've seen their names a lot.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. Shinobi Splash, I know them. I know they're a pretty good team. See how they'll play. And kind of the Selfish Ascension team, a lot of these players have played, but they haven't played together. So see how they actually play together.
What's your biggest biggest hope for a new team?
And I really hope if any of them are listening, they don't take it absolutely personally, but I really hope that a team that isn't Wakazashi, since Neo is not playing the season, makes the finals. Yeah.
And
yeah.
How do you feel about Neo sitting out? I know they are. I'm pretty sure their second team's still playing, but
yes, the Night Owls are playing, but God Squad is not playing. I've heard some things, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what their reason is for not playing. It's just the fact that they're not playing. I personally, so I'm sure I scared the hell out of Zilla. Zilla, if you are here, I'm sorry about scaring you last night by replying to your messages, but kind of one of those things where and just kind of to go over what happened. Basically, Zilla tweeted NA players or Japan players are better than NA players in Ninjala, and that NA needs to do better. To which I said, yeah, obviously that is the case, but certain teams and individuals are up to par, and the people that I was kind of referencing to was God Squad. This is in North America. This is not counting the EU team. This is only North. So it's really only Neo. Like, there hasn't really been any other team to contest them, right? Imperium Perfect did a really good job with that. And they're NNA, right? Wakazashi and Kunoichi, they're EU teams. They got a little bit of a region diff going on there, with how they play the game, and they're able to actually match the team 1-for-1. But regards to other North American teams, not really many actually give them a run for their money. So in regards to them not entering, I wish they would. Even if they feel as if they're just gonna win again, just to make teams have to play against. It's kind of because far and away they're the best team in North America. Like, if anyone says otherwise, I point them to their performances since their inception. You can kind of go look at their track record. They're really good.
They're really good.
So
Yep.
My hope is that other teams can get up to par in their teams that are close. And like again, like I mentioned, teams and individuals. Like again, right? Individuals being like Starling and Naza duo combined. Right, the Golden Experience duo, Starling, Naza, Silent, Caleb, went really far in the N1 Grand Prix, which was an international tournament. On 100 ping, going almost even with one of the best teams in Japan. Pretty good in regards to North America as a whole, but not many teams and not many players are at that level in this region. So I'm hoping that, without, kind of obviously, right, as I said, I wish they would play the force team to go against them, but without them playing, I hope that things are a little bit more competitive and established, right? Things are a little bit more competitive in the sense that it's no longer doomsday, right? If you go against them in bracket, as most teams kind of feel, right? You go load in, you see the playoff bracket, you're against Neo first round, you're kind of like, rough, right? Even if you feel confident, like you don't feel 100%, like you don't actually feel confident that you feel confident that you can beat them, but you don't feel confident that you're at the same level as them, kind of deal. I hope that happens less this season. I hope teams kind of look across the room and be like, yeah, we're better than these guys. Let's just beat them and go our way. I want to see a lot more of that because that makes things more competitive. That drives up competition between teams, so on and so forth, and that just leads to overall improvement.
Competition, that's the point. Yeah, definitely. Their matches are really exciting to see. So there's gonna be like, the void of WK versus Neo at the end, but
like it's kind of one of the things, and like again, like as I was saying, right, this is like North America. Like Wakazashi, Kuroichi have both shown that they're as good, if not better, than Neo at times, right? Like Wakazashi beat, like, their record, I think, between those two teams is like even, basically. Like they're basically even, right? Kunoichi also has performed pretty well. Like when Kunoichi's on the money, they're on the ball against that team 1-for-1. La Morlet as well. Not quite there compared to the other two EU teams, but they also put up extremely good performance against stuff. Kind of gonna be missing that, but there are teams who can fill the void. Definitely.
EU teams are like big learners, I feel like we have players over here and they have like command adapters.
Yep. So like it kind of like one of the things I said at the end of the tweet, or in the one back and forth I had, so it was one of the things where it's like, yeah, I don't think, well, it's kind of like, I think after, right, I really started thinking about it. It was one of those things that almost kept me up all night until I decided that I probably should get some sleep so I don't nap through this podcast. But one of the things where it's just like, yeah, not a lot of people, like, if they do want to learn, they don't actively know what they need to. And like most of the differences between teams just comes from team chemistry, right? And team diff. It's almost like it's very rarely individual players. Obviously, right, you can just get out mechanicked and annihilated, which is basically what Neo did the entirety of the first 2 seasons of their inception.
Right.
They literally just out mechanicked every single team, and it didn't really matter what they did. They kind of just won, right? As seasons went on, teams got better, which means they actually had to adjust their strategies and, like, I don't know, change their weapons in order to make sure that they're not actually going to drop games that they shouldn't lose to begin with, which says a lot about the overall progress of the region as a whole. But like, not a lot of people, like, not a lot of teams know what they need to improve on. Like, I personally, like, and this is kind of one of the reasons why, like, I half wish I had more free time to, like, kind of not focus on ENL and actually focus on coaching teams, because, like, I've spoken to a lot of teams, like, and I speak to a lot of teams, and a lot of teams have, like, and some teams have asked me, like, what they need to work on, send me VODs or whatever to look at. Like, it's because it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't have a starting point, right, to get better, how are you supposed to know what you're supposed to get better on? Like, how you know you're supposed to improve?
Yep.
I think, like, I really, like, because again, as I said at the very beginning, if there's anything that I will brag about or boast about, is my game knowledge, because I've watched more competitive Ninjala than every single other person who has touched this in the history of the game, who has touched this game or played this game. So, like, I feel like the responsibility is, like, starts with me to at least start something, and I kind of did when I reviewed some VODs of Corpse's old team and reviewed some +1 stuff, NWA, old 4K. I reviewed some of their stuff. I know Starling has asked me for help a while back. I have those videos up on my YouTube channel. Even before those, right? Even before I knew anyone, I put up a video on WNA Academy rotations, which to this day teams still do. And I've seen teams use every single starter in that video, and I made that video before I even knew that, you know, ENL existed. This was near the beginning of the game, so, like, I knew these things. Just need to, like, do more. Cause, like, a lot of teams need a place to start, right? Like, Imperium Perfect, like, Starling asked me for help. I helped, and, like, Starling has started. He's been playing a lot. He's been playing noticeably better, and team as well, right, has been playing noticeably better. You know, if you look at Powermade, even though they kind of, you know, they only brought me in for 1 session, but, like, the ideas that I gave to them, they actually just managed to take it and run with it, and they've been playing a lot better overall. And, like, that's just, like, 2, like, small examples, right? That's just, like, just being told, like, hey, this is an idea, you should probably think about doing this, right? And then they're like, oh, let's just think about doing it, and they try it and, like, oh, this kind of works, you know? It's like, oh, this is working. And then from there, now they start thinking for themselves, and it's like, yeah, my job here is done. Like, the first game of the season, when I saw Bleck dash out of a parry and Viper comes from the shadows and stuns the person who was trying to win the parry, and they get the free EPON, I was like, if I wasn't casting, I would have just gotten up from my seat and just started shouting. I'm just happy. Because it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my god, these people actually listen. They actually listen to what I said. What I said to them made sense, and it actually worked. You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, yes, I didn't say anything crazy. I didn't tell them to do stuff that doesn't make any sense. You know, they took my idea, they worked with it, found something that they liked, and then moved with it. Like, that made me really happy. Like, same thing in Imperium Perfect, right? When it's starting, I had the sessions with them. You know, that was that. You know, the first couple games that I watched them, just a clear noticeable difference, and I was like, yep, my job here, I did what I needed to do. Like, you know, don't really need to do anything more unless, you know, I'm specifically asked, because they've taken what I said adapted it for their own purposes and have taken it, and now they're running with it and they're playing a lot better. So like that kind of stuff I think a lot of teams need, but there's just no like general hub to actually get it.
Was there some of this idea behind the Dimension 6
Yes.
project?
Yeah, so like deal with that. So unfortunately couldn't there wasn't enough people who fit within the schedule, whose schedule was lined up to actually turn that team into a reality. There were entrants, but it was just the schedules were not properly aligned, that like playing together would be really difficult. Really difficult. So
Actually numbers weren't a problem, it was just schedule?
schedules didn't line up.
That's
'Cause,
not
like-
bad for future reference. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just not the time.
Yeah, like now is definitely not the time, but like my idea behind that was literally like it was literally just going to be like I was going to stream everything involving that team, like almost everything, because like I talk about stuff on broadcast a lot and I say a lot of things, and like but like they don't actually get implemented by teams, right?
Yeah.
Or like the stuff that I say like might seem crazy. For example, the shoe. I'm talking about Cerberus as if it's like a god tier weapon, and against the popular, mindset that it's really not. Yeah, like playoffs come around on specific maps, we do end up seeing Popeye getting played or Cerberus getting played, and it's kind of just like there's a specific reasoning by which this is being done. Like that kind of like peeking into my head, right? In these kind of scenarios was kind of the plan of that team. Like I was gonna try and stream all the VOD reviews, the scrims, go over everything, kind of public. Yeah.
That sounds like a really good idea. I'm sad that it just worked out right now.
Yeah, like right now, not proper time, but figure it out at some point. If I don't know, I might reach out to the players, just in case, just turn it into a scrim team. So in case anyone wants, scrim matches, practice matches, I could just do that. Still get the same idea, but kind of just a way, right? As I was saying before, like kind of give a grounding point to be like, hey, like, oh, this is a good idea. Maybe we should try this for our team, right? And then now they go try it, they like it, they don't like it, they think this needs to be changed about it, they think that needs to be changed, and then off of that, right, they make adjustments. They're like, ooh, this is kind of cool, I like this. And then now they liked it, they start developing more. Next thing you know, they're looking like a whole different team when they show up next season or even the next, Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of earlier thing that happened that I never really did, but there was like a scrim bot in someone's server.
Yep, what's not?
Yeah,
believe it, it's not.
Yeah, you're right actually. And I always said I was gonna, but I was like a BR guy and I just hated team battle, so I never did.
Like I don't know, like I might set something up. I was thinking about doing stuff, or I was thinking about doing stuff in the doing small stuff in the off weeks. Obviously, I'm chilling in these bye weeks, trying to prepare for the next week. But like I was thinking about doing small stuff like that for in the bye week, just to throw some ideas around, people thinking.
I like that idea too.
Because like it's obviously like teams, like it's one of those things where like, yeah, there are teams that know what's good and there are teams that don't know what's good, or there are teams that understand why what they're doing works and teams that understand why what they're doing doesn't work. Like, and the example I use is, right, when you see Wakazashi go triple katana on WNA Academy, if you don't know why they're doing it, it's a problem, right? Like, you should be able to look at their comp, look at the map, and be like, yeah, they have 3 EPON Katana. They are on WNA. WNA promotes fighting. EPON Katana is good at fighting. Gum Launcher is on all the EPON Katana. Gum Launcher takes 2 Gum Launchers to bind. If you only need 2 to bind, and you have 3 of them, you know, you can bind people really easily. Katana kills fast, so you can get the EPONs fast, which means you can keep up tempo, which means you can take over the map, which means you can now pressure the other hammer player, because every time they want to go to the drone on their inner corner, they can't, because the EPON Katanas are there staring them down. And they can't play the game. And if the hammer can't play the game, your hammer can play the game, because the enemy is too focused on trying to make sure that they're not getting absolutely rolled over in a 3v4, you just win.
This is like traumatizing to hear as it's happening.
But I mean, you watch every Wakazashi game, right? You see them do this every time, every single time, almost every single time consistently they pull it off. Like, you get to the end game, right? You have like 2 EPON Katanas with like 6 EPONs each, and you see Gohart with like 13,000 points, and you're like, yeah, I wonder why, right? But like, that's basically the process. That's the thought process right there, as to why that composition works. Like, obviously, I'm not saying everyone should know that's why the composition works, because some compositions can't be explained as easily as that, right? But you can explain why weapons are there, right? Like, for example, when R2 and J-Bed brought out Popeye on Shinobi City, it's like, hey, you literally have a shark spot that you can put that is literally invisible and unreactable. Also, healing feels good on a map with one objective. And especially on a map where if you want to coin flip the center pool, you can do it without actually throwing the game. So, you know, like, just understanding that kind of thing. And I think, you know, if, you know, manage to plan it out, get into like a comfortable spot, start doing those in the off weeks, and kind of just throw ideas around. At the end of the day, it's like, and I said this a long time ago when I actually did raw reviews, and I've always said it. I might have said it on broadcast a couple times. Like, my job is to not like tell you how to play the game, because like I know a lot, I don't know everything, and half the time, right, it's ideas. Ideas sometimes just don't work. My job is to get you to think about why what I'm saying is absolute BS, and why I'm wrong and I suck and I don't know anything. And in doing that, you now have your ideas, and you're explaining things to yourself that you wouldn't have explained otherwise, and things are making more sense to you that you never would have got there, and that you never would have understood to begin with. And now we can start talking about developing how you play, because you hate the words that are coming out of my mouth. Yeah, pretty good.
So, if you want to just drop your coaching prices,
I unironically was going to. I still have the tweet saved in my drafts. I just, again, right, taking over ENL kind of takes a lot of time. Maybe this season I might have more time. We'll have to see. But I mean, when next season, depending on what I want to do for next season, because again, a lot of things in the work for next season. Need to talk, need to think, and we'll see. But when summer comes around, I will definitely have more time to do that kind of stuff. 100%. But like, if you just ask me, like, for example, like, economics just messaged me and was like, hey, did you notice anything about our match against Radiance that you wanted me to go over, or that, you know, that needs to be improved on? And it took me like no time at all. I just typed up doc, pulled out the notepad, kind of just typed all the things that I noticed, my immediate first thoughts, sent it back, and that was that. It didn't really take me too long, you know. So you just message me, ask me small things, yeah, I can give you answers. But like, in regards to what I used to do, like full on like hour-long like reviews, not now. Later. Later. I don't have time for that right now.
I mean, it's almost better that Season 6 is lining up with the summertime. We'll
Yeah.
have a lot of free time from creators and players and event organizers and all the like. So hopefully Season 6 is as hype as they're making it sound. Kind of.
Yep.
Well, is that Velmer?
Oh yes.
Let's
Sorry,
go,
I said-
Velmer's
I
here.
didn't say hello. Hello.
Hello, Velmer.
What's up, Velmer?
What is up?
If probably missed a whole bunch, but just continue on.
We were talking about ENL. What? Oh, I skipped over this one, but since it's all you do, are we expecting anything new from like the casting end of things, like images, graphics?
Unfortunately, probably not. This
no
is
NASA originals.
Yeah, this is kind of like, I say probably not, like kind of tied into not knowing the like actual direction I want to go. It's kind of just gonna be somewhat mundane, because like until I figure out like what, it's a lot of, I have to do a lot of thinking, okay, in regards to like the direction that I want to take ENL as a whole. And like, unless like I personally don't want to put the time in making the graphics, I haven't really reached out either. So like for example, right, I know, look guys, I know you're tired of the same clips on the break screens. I am so sorry, but I look, I can't. It was you, like, people. So getting those clips, right, I made highlight videos for I think like 3 or 4 weeks. Those took me the entirety of Friday, or the entirety of after ENL on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to do, by the way. Like, those took me like 4 days to do all of those in like a lot of hours. I just can't do those anymore, even if I want to. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bear with those for hopefully one last season and figure out what is gonna be after that, depending on the direction that I decide to go with the league as a whole. So yeah. Yeah.
So, all intents and purposes, this is last season part 2.
Yeah. Like, it's gonna feel really bad, but at the end of the day, as I always say, my only job, the only thing that I am actually required to do, is to make sure that you can play, and that people can watch you play and cheer you on when you play. That is, by definition, my only job. It feels really bad when I can't do more, but as long as I can do that, I can consider it acceptable for me. Because it's a different experience when you're playing and you know that your people and your teammates and, you know, a bunch of people who might not even know who you are watching it. You know, if I can do that in a manner that's somewhat professional, quasi-professional, nice and clean, relatively organized, call it a day. That is what I want. That is what I can work with. Yeah.
Belmer,
Sir.
when are you joining ENL?
Huh?
Yeah.
I remember I made a joke about when there was gonna be an ENL one-on-one singles, and Ten told me like not gonna happen.
Look, okay. So a while back. Look, let me tell you. Look, guys. If you guys don't know, let me get into a little backstory here in case you guys missed it last time I talked about it. I am not supposed to be in charge of ENL. This wasn't really something that was asked of me. I kind of just did it because I felt like it needed to be done. But before I got to that point and realized that it was a lot of work, a high amount of work, I actually wanted it to be bigger. I was considering having a 1v1 bracket, kind of similar to, not necessarily bracket and more of ladder, kind of what, if you kind of just think about what the old Warriors Pit tournaments used to look like in regards to like an ELO system, I had I wanted to do something like that. The only issue is, right, I haven't actually taken the steps to figure out what the easiest way for me to do it is. Like, I know I can do it, I never really took the time to find the easiest way I can do it, so that idea kind of just got put to the back burner. There's a lot more stuff that I had planned to do kind of outside the game, and you kind of saw it with season 3. Like, if you saw the stuff that I did, like the amount of stuff I did season 3, that's kind of the quality I was hoping I would be able to keep up. Unfortunately, school kind of hit me a little hard. Other events too kind of holding me back from hitting those levels again, but hopefully, right, by next season we'll be back at that level of production, because that's kind of what I expect every single season, or that's kind of what I want to strive for every single season. But yeah, things are, you know, supposed to be a lot bigger, but you know, you work with what you got, and right now it's kind of just fighting time until I can kind of figure out a direction to go in and kind of take off from there.
Just got embarrassed by Mike Nono multiple times live. Pardon me. Here he is again. EPPON! There you go, Mike Nono. What, WNXXI? What's Mike Nono on? Chaotic?
Yep. WNXXI.
Yeah. Get only an adapter. No, I'm kidding. Last time last time I scrimmed against them with +1. This must have been like months ago.
Yeah.
He said I was laggy. And I was like, Mike, no. Get out of here with that. Alright, good overview on this season, but flashing back to last season, there was some bullshit circulating ENL.
What do you mean?
Some
It was
bullshit.
it was a minor dispute, okay?
Okay, there were some minor disputes. Multiple minor disputes.
Yeah.
Here and there on give or take 5 social platforms.
Yeah.
Centered around the scene's information on the ENL and how transparent you are.
Yeah.
Where do you stand a month later with all that? 2 months later. I don't even remember.
I mean, in regards to that entire situation, I really could care less that it happened. It really never happened. I actively don't remember it unless people bring it up. It's whatever. My overall thing is like, those of you guys, like, people who have signed up for the league know that I do like to be available. I do like to be as transparent as I need to be. Kind of just convey like, hey, this is what's happening, this is how it's happening, this is what's going on. And like, I mean, that was just how it was at the time. A month later, it's still there, but less in the sense of negatives, and more of the sense of just apathy, honestly. Obviously, like, back then it was kind of like game bad. Now it's kind of just like game exists, and I'm kind of just rolling with it, honestly. Like, which is way better than it was last time, but right, still carrying that kind of sentiment doesn't exactly do much, right? Like, it's one of those things where, like, and kind of bringing up, right, the kind of the ESL joke that I clarified, or that it wasn't necessarily a joke, you know, that is a possibility. It kind of just clarifies as like, it's less about the game and more of just doing it to just do it. Like, as I said at the end of last season, like, it's not like a game anymore. I just don't want there to just be nothing for you people to do. it kind of get a little boring, to be honest. Nothing really going on. So doing it, you know, to give you guys a platform to actually show how good you are, like instead of having to like wait, you know, for the once or twice a month, right, official tournaments, kind of creating some sense of, you know, interaction between groups, interaction between clans, outside of, right, you know, friends of friends. It is, I think, really beneficial just towards keeping people away from devolving into small circles. Um, Kind of that kind of idea is what it is these days. Um, to be honest, like the game doesn't really matter. It could be any game, and I'd probably do the same thing. At the end of the day, I just want to make sure people can have, you know, as good of an experience as they have, and like obviously, right? I will say that again, compared to the previous, compared to uh season 3, not as good. But at the end of the day, right, just being able to, you know, allow you guys to play, have a platform to play, a weekly, bi-weekly basis, right? Have people watch, whether they know the game, they don't know the game, whether they know you as a player or don't know you as a player. Like, yeah, like there are some people where if there was not ENL, then these players most likely just they just wouldn't be as known as they are now. Same thing, like some clans might not be as big as they are now in that kind of sense, right?
And this
I'm not gonna
pretty much aligns with what you said last time. Like consistently, you are unchanged on this front.
I'm just here. And like, I mean, I can put it in the not nice words in the sense to what I do, right? Like, and obviously I kind of explain this as a joke. I use this wording as a joke sometimes, but like, it really is like it's partially true. Just the sense that like I don't like my overall feelings don't really matter when it comes to like ENL. Like it's something that like it's not really like if I do it or I don't want to do it, it's not really, I don't feel like that's not something that crosses my mind. It's either that I do it or like I do it. And because again, right, it's not about me anymore, and it never really has been about me or what I do, and I've never, you know, like I don't know if like you notice, and even with what I've said, if people have noticed, right? Like a lot of people will say that, oh, ENL is just 10. It's like, yeah, I mean it is, but I'm never going to say it is because that's just it might be true, but it isn't actually true. Like organization as a whole has been around, been more relevant than me for longer, and treated as it itself, right? Yeah. Right? If someone else comes and take over, like it's not me anymore, right? Does it go back to being ENL, or does it go back to being whoever the new person charges?
Right.
Compared to if you just consider it, hey, this is just it's ENL as an organization. It's not 10's league or it's not anyone else's, right? Now it doesn't really matter who's in charge. You just know it's ENL and the quality that comes with it.
Disclaimer: 10 has a completely separate streaming channel that is his. It is not the ENL. Just to back that whole statement.
Yeah. You know, certain people got very confused as to why I just didn't stream ENL on my channel, and me, you know, being in there boneheadedly dumb. I have some set of invisible morals that I can't breach, which is why I made the separate channel for it. Because again, right, it's not about me. It is about it being a separate organization. I did not make it, therefore it is not mine. So, yeah. I will always put my.
What about Tianchen Han? You got 3 personas working behind the scenes. No, I'm just.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's 10, Tianchen Han, Tenjimin, Dark Demon Lord Tianshin Han. He's somewhere back there. I don't know. Gonna have to look a little farther back to go find him. Had to get put in the timeout corner after what happened, but he'll be back. He'll be back eventually. But
Guaranteed.
I'll always put my stock in Pork PK and Spectrix, even if they're not as active as they used to be. My stock will always be them, and if they come back and they're like, hey man, let me get some stuff back, I'll see. Okay, but like we're gonna have to share this time, you know. But like their stock in what they made is always gonna be there for me. So is them that made it. So therefore, it's gonna stay as their organization. Granted, I was given the keys, but even if I am given the keys, it still remains the same to me, right? Because I'm given the keys. Like when you're given the keys to your parents' car, is it really your car or is it still their car? You know, you think about it that way, right? You might say it's yours, you might treat it like it's yours, but at the end of the day, you weren't the one that got it. And whatever it's been through, whatever condition that it's been through, you didn't actually get it there. They did. So no reason to completely drown them out of saying that, yeah, it's my car and it always has been. No, that's not true. And it never will be true. So, yeah.
The way you relate things reminds me of this guy on Survivor. He almost won $1 million. I bet you do pretty good on Survivor. Just listening to you talk.
Look, equating things to real life is fun. Things easy.
Any other things that we didn't think about, maybe that you could say for the next season?
For next season?
Like the upcoming season. I mean, yeah, you know, whatever. The one that didn't happen yet.
Not really. Kind of just talking about this season that's about to happen.
Yes, like on Saturday, like Friday.
Format, just be there. You know, format gonna be a little confusing, but it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's a lot more fun to watch. Kind of taking feedback from. Kind of took a little bit of feedback from a bunch of the playoff. How people like playoff brackets. Kind of just taking that and trying to do something with it. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm expecting a lot of hiccups. I'm expecting a lot of. I'm not expecting it to run smooth because I'm holding people to a format that's not time friendly in the sense it's not very flexible. But this is, not having a unflexible schedule is going to be, and seeing how that does is going to be a good tell for how I would want to approach the anniversary. Yeah. So,
definitely a good time to try things out because the anniversary is going to be where the hype revolves around.
So, one of those things where it's like, hey guys, I mean, same as every season. Some things are gonna go crazy. Just gotta deal with it and figure it out from there, and we'll make it run smoothly. However many headaches it takes.
Can you confidently say that people that are more maybe difficult to work with, don't understand that Ninjala has its flaws, come back for more every season and make it hard on you?
No, not really. I look, I'm there. I've been there, wherever they're, those, that subset of individuals, obviously, I've been there, man. The game just isn't nice to me sometimes, and I hate it. Man, why can't every broadcast be like the BBB broadcast? Everything goes smoothly, nothing crazy happens, no glitches, no bugs, but, it just happens. You just kind of just get upset. I know Snug is probably the only person that knows. Look, I don't say it a lot on the outside, but Snug is probably the only person that knows just how annoyed I get whenever stuff like this happens. So, I will politely ask him to not go in depth about how annoyed I get sometimes. But if you ask him, he'll tell you that when things happen revolving the game, or revolving situations regarding teams, yeah, I get a little upset. I get a little upset. Because again, right, for me it comes down to making sure everything runs smoothly. And when things don't run smoothly, I get upset on off camera. On camera, I'm nice. Right? Now those of you now you'll know. When I come in, I'm saying some very nice things like, had a little bit of unfortunate incidents going on. We're gonna take some time, try to figure it out, and we'll get back. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll stay on break. When we get back, we'll have the situation resolved. But like off camera, I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Why is this happening? I am not happy.
That was Riley during the invitational.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my god. I know the feelings.
Riley messaged me, he was like, how do you deal with this? I'm like, you gotta have a good avenue to vent. If you don't have a good avenue to vent, you're going to lose your mind. You gotta have some way, you gotta mute your mic, you gotta get up from your desk, you gotta walk around, calm yourself down, say it's not that serious, figure out a way to fix this, it's not that bad, I might only have, a couple of minutes left because one team is from a different region, which means they have to go to bed on time. If I don't finish this by the end of the day, bracket is going to tomorrow, and that's going to create a lot more problems because tomorrow there's another event that I have to start on time, and I cannot afford to delay that event any longer period of time. But I need to get the game on time. I also want it to be on stream, but if it's on stream, then it's going to run late. And if that team does manage to win and they make the finals, they're going to be playing like in the AMs when they have school the next day because it's on a Sunday, and that creates a lot of problems. But you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy.
All the issues happen during freaking BNJ's match. Who we specifically planned early because he's like 6 hours ahead.
Yeah, for real.
like this isn't obviously, right, this isn't anything like at like the EU teams or anything, because obviously that's kind of like the bigger ones for me to have to try and plan around. But this is just something in general, just like making sure like, okay, how can I do this in a set amount of time that people don't have to leave. Like last playoffs was hella scary for me, because there are multiple incidents where people are like, yeah, I have to leave, and I'm like, okay, and the team's like, yeah, we're not gonna play until they come back. I mean, they didn't say it like that, but it basically was like, hey, we kind of don't want to play until that person comes back. It's kind of like, oh, okay, I will try my best to figure out how I can adjust, and I managed to do it. It went smoothly. Unfortunately, it cost a singular game that probably was a really good game off stream, but it was able to be done, and turned out well. So yeah, but yeah, it's just being able to adjust these kinds of things is what makes it not fun. But when things do go smoothly, that's what makes it fun.
Definitely, I don't know, Kuro, how you felt, but I felt the fun of running it as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and then like after, I was like, damn, these people do a lot. Like, this shit is draining. I underestimated how tiring it could be, but it's kind of draining. I'm not gonna lie. So
telling you, man. Like I know I told these guys about what like my conditions, but a lot of people don't know. So like when I'm doing these streams, right? Because I have Discord audio on, because I need Discord audio when I'm co-commentating. I can't play any music, right? Because I need to be listening to what the person's saying, obviously, right? Because I'm casting with them, and if I'm not casting with them, I need to know what exactly is going on, if they have any issues, what they want me to do, right? If they need me to press the scoreboard tab, stuff like that, or who they want me to go to. So I need to hear that stuff. And some of the playoff streams are like stream for like 5 hours and 7 hours. I don't have any music. I don't have any other sound, but I have to have my headphone on, and I have to have my mic, which means I can't play anything else on speaker, which means that I'm sitting in silence for all those 7 hours, making sure that everything is going smoothly. Like, it is an extremely draining experience to run, but when it works and when everything runs smoothly, you kind of forget, and you're like, hey, this was a good time. Afterwards, you might like collapse in exhaustion, but like, hey, it was you can be happiest knowing that everything went smoothly.
It was definitely a good time, yeah.
Yeah, I have a long background in live theater. I run shows for like a decade now. You thank people like this whenever you can. Because, I don't know, you can't do the things you love without people like this supporting you in every way they can, you know?
Yep.
Man, I guess I won't know that feeling.
Hey,
Post your own or join ENL, Velmer.
Hey, man.
Get this man.
I'm gonna kind of touch upon just a little bit what kind of the anniversary, like I've been saying, like some things like try to figure out direction. It's mostly due to like how I want to expand the league, in a sense, kind of like, if how many people I want to add, how far I want to reach out, what other games I want to dive into. As I said, Splatoon League was a April Fool's joke, but it's within the realms of possibility. Maybe with a bit of help from Planet Scrapstar, I'll be able to have some time to kind of figure out if taking another venture into that game is viable and is okay on the amount of time that I have. But a lot of big things, hopefully. Anniversary, just gotta get everything kind of sorted out this season and these couple months, and by next season, hopefully gonna be back at the levels that we were beginning of season 3, maybe more. Yeah.
Just making sure I didn't forget anything. Got a lot to say. Got
Hey,
a ton
quick
to hear.
before we go, or before we wrap up, thoughts on SA without Kurofang?
SA without Kurofang, kind of like, okay, like it's one of those things where it's like, all right, you're kind of trading a flex player, but the flex player is also playing a weapon that no one else plays proficiently, or not a lot of people play proficiently. So you're actually losing a lot. Like, no matter who you replace, unless they're a good Soundhammer, you're losing a decent amount. But like overall, like should be okay, but just not as good. Because like Soundhammer lets you do some messed up stuff in regards to team compositions, and kind of not having that feels a little bit. So yeah, definitely like probably not like 1-to-1 equivalent, but like no busted kneecaps here. Still a good team. Yeah.
For sure.
He said you're good, but who
I
cares that
think
you're
the value
good?
was
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Cam is the star of the show. Let's just be honest.
I've been carrying Cam live for 2 hours. Next.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, but
Dang.
you say that.
But yeah, like, I mean, like it's clear, like you have your star players, but need that anchor. All reliable.
Good old reliable. You're right.
And like obviously, right, that role isn't. It's not that role isn't hard to fill, but it's hard to match like what you brought. That's kind of the hard. Like,
Oh, thanks.
anyone, yeah, like I mean seriously, like
Yeah.
one of two proficient Soundhammer players in North America, like not even proficient, just top, right? Like 1 and 2, like top 2. Just like, yeah, you can't really replace that. Like there are a bunch of proficient ones and there are a bunch of pretty good ones, but like they're nowhere. So yeah, about it.
There's not a lot of people who climb just like from the bottom to God Ninja with one weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
One that has as many Like I think like people under like again, right? It only takes going against Naza once to know that yeah, while the weapon might be BS, there is a lot of things you can do with that weapon. It's not linear at all. It seems linear, but you have way more options than a lot of other weapons in regards to how you play the video game. So
Create time that shouldn't exist for yourself.
you creative, and that's kind of one of the hard parts. And you know, when you have like people like Naza and Curl that have been playing the weapon for a long time, yeah, they know these things. And like if you're picking up the weapon, you know, if you haven't been playing the weapon since its inception, you're not going to pick up on the things as fast, and you're not going to know what your limits are. And that's kind of what the major difference between like, you know, them two at the top and everyone. Yeah.
Do you feel gassed? Is that what you were looking for?
I was just.
Didn't expect.
I just wanted to know too. I wanted to know his honest thoughts.
Wow, like there are a lot of like there are a lot of
They're
players.
still my team, you know, or like I'm part of the team still, so it's not like I'm
There are
leaving.
a lot of players on a lot of teams where it's just like you might think that it's just like yeah, you know they might be like, you know, this person's not playing as much, they're probably fine. It's just like, well, I mean, the impact is a little bit bigger than that. It's just a little bit bigger, like because you know you can't take for granted what some players bring to the table when they show up in the game on the plane. Yeah.
Honestly, it is quite surprising. I see some of these players
Yeah.
exceed my expectations.
Yeah, like, you know, some players just, you know, they make everyone better. Yeah. Players like that. Some players, you know, they take over games individually, and they make games unplayable for the other team just by themselves alone. You know, some players, some players might not do much in game, but outside of the game, in regards to getting everything organized, going over VODs, doing research, making in-game calls and such, they are extremely valuable to teams. You know, big number does not equal good player. So there are other things that are involved when you want to be overall a good player and you want to be a good contributor to your team and just be a good team as a whole. And that, I think, is the harder part. There are a lot of good players. But there are not a lot of good teams, which confuses me. Out of context, but in context, makes sense. Right? You have a bunch of good players, just can't work cohesively together.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
I feel that a lot. I struggle in team battles because I can't work with anybody. Except Curl.
Like there are reasons why, like there are specific reasons why, like yeah, of course Neo's gonna be, you know, even if like it wouldn't really matter if they were the best team by a long shot. They would be in talks of being the best team even if they weren't so dominant because they've been playing for such a long time. You can look at Wakazashi as well, right? EU, not very big, which means a lot of them have played together with each other a lot. They play with each other enough. They know each other's limits. Play really well together. I know Selfish Access has been playing together a lot. That kind of again, right? They have a lot more cohesion than a lot of other teams. Starling's team again, right? You know, he's played with these players a lot. He knows these players, or even if he doesn't know the players who he has played with a lot know those players. So it's easy to just transfer over and be like, hey, this person likes to do this, this, and this. He's like, okay, tell them I like to do this, this, and this, and you got yourself a cohesive team. Radiance as well, like, irregardless of their performances across the seasons, they are a cohesive team. They have more team cohesion than a lot of the teams that are perceived to be better than them. This was very easy to find out when, you know, I played scrims. Had practice scrims, me, Starling, Naza, and Silk played against Radiance team last season in a couple handful of scrims, and it was easy to tell, like, hey, these guys, have really good team cohesion and more team synergy than a lot of the teams that are perceived to be better than them or are better than them in the standing. Stuff like that.
Right.
Makes a huge difference. And that's kind of one of the things that a lot of people kind of need to figure out. And me personally, I know why that isn't the case. I will not say why it is the case, because that will unlock a bag of worms that I do not want to go into, nor do I want more people getting mad at me for thinking that I am attacking them when I'm instead saying truth. So,
Period.
I'm not going to speak on it. But I do think that, the line of thought that I alluded to is kind of like, there's a specific, very, very, very specific reason why stuff like this isn't the case. And I hope that it kind of fixes itself, though I have doubts that it will. Hopefully teams can kind of get in the mindset of playing together with each other, preferably the same group of people, maybe like 8 over the course of close to a year together consistently. Maybe enter tournaments with the same number of people and the same people, only play with those same people a greater majority of the time, scrim a lot with those same set of people, don't really swap people out very often, and maybe we'll get there.
Whoa, look who's right on cue starting up a Ninjala stream at the end of the EPON podcast, waiting for a raid. I'm just kidding. Looks like Starling is. I was waiting for anybody on my following list.
He's in my lobby. I was like, oh, he's playing right now?
Looks like Generations is on Animal Crossing tonight. Everybody was just doing something else, but we got Star to look forward to.
Marla on the scrap? Okay.
Before we close though, I did want to announce that our next episode is gonna be Drip Jala Part 2. We are gonna have Sav joining us in 2 weeks, and we are gonna have regular episodes, but this one is just gonna be another best outfit, and we're only gonna be taking one submission this time because we want to have some more material throughout the weeks. So please don't unload 8 outfits this time. I'll probably be posting a master entry post sometime this week. So pick a really good outfit. Look really drippy, look really cute. Don't copy my shit.
God. Go through hell again.
And with no theme, just best outfit, best general drip, fashion. Give it to me.
Did I ever say how much photos I had to make for all those people?
Oh yeah, Velmer's doing all the work. So if you want to see this man busy, I'm kidding.
I really didn't like that.
But yeah, we'll probably do it the same way. We'll judge it all live, give out accolades, and have some prizes. Hopefully we have some exciting episodes lined up for season 5, but I don't want to go too far in until we plan them out. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming back and
Thank you for having me.
Everybody in chat obviously has to know by now he knows more about the game than you do. So you should probably, if you want to get better, pop into ENL, send some DMs. On Discord. He's got school, so be gentle.
What about me to hop you? I'm garbage.
Oh, I'll get to you later, I am locked into a game for 3 more minutes, so feel free to chat before I raid. I literally just don't want to lose points for Cam, so I'm not hitting the raid button because I have to move my hand.
Or Cam.
I've been carrying him for hours. He's clearly very dependent. It's very obvious.
Coming up today.
If that's what you want to believe, then yeah,
It is what I'm Chat, please drop my best play that you've seen today in chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how amazing I am. I'm actually super washed and surprised I'm doing well today. VR wins were all a fluke, every one of them. I have no business overpowering Lightning McQuick in my current form. Using katana paper fans that I've played twice. I like the weapons, but
The fan is really good. But
I think the only one I'm gonna end up adding to my normal weapon list might be the new hammer because I kind of don't hate hammer this season. I don't know.
I don't mind the new hammer. I just don't, it's kind of just there.
I'm using the wheel.
I like the wheel, but I just have to agree that it.
Look what everyone else says.
I'm just
You're
feeling
crazy.
gaps.
I am crazy.
Right?
Ow.
Come on, man.
Like,
Can't be the only one.
I mean, like, look, okay, like, imagine if it had, like, I don't know, maybe, like, potent poison,
Honestly,
Fucking
Beast is
busted.
fine. I just wish it had a gum shoot.
I mean, like, I think, though, if it had, I mean, it'd be too good. Well, would it, though? Okay, I'm thinking it'd be really good if it had, like, grenade or net. But
If it had
not,
green eye, I mean,
it's not gonna have net, it's gonna have grenade. I'm just thinking, like, imagine if it had, like, grenade. You just yo-yo lock into the grenade into Shinobi Beast and kind of just smack him. Or there'd be that kind of setup. That'd be pretty okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Kunai would also be pretty okay.
It'd be nice.
Like
I'd like to see the like combos you can
Yeah.
insert it into,
like the reason why I like Gum Searcher on Mellow is because you have Tenchi Muyo. Like there's no struggling to get Epons. Like if you want it, just go get it. Press the X button, man. Like free Epon. But like when it's the wheel, it's kind of just like, yeah, woohoo, yo-yo lock. Yay, oh, Gum Boost Impact, neutral attack. What do I do now? What happens now? Like, you don't really do anything. Like, you have to do your boring yo-yo combo, which just doesn't kill, or you get cheesed by the third hit whiffing for no reason and die for it. It's like, okay. True. Fair, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Tiffany is always with us.
Yeah. Like, I'll be of the opinion that it's bad for a while. Like, what you would want to do with Yo-Yo, you can do better. What you would want to do with Shinobi Beast, okay, like, what you would want to do with Yo-Yo, you can do better with every other Yo-Yo weapon. What you would want to do with Shinobi Beast, you can do better with every other weapon. And what you would want to do with, what's it called? What am I saying? What you would want to do with Gum Searcher, you wouldn't want to do with any weapon because you don't do anything with Gum Searcher other than just use it. So, yeah, basically how it is.
Cam in chat insinuating I'm not already a ninja god in the books. Anyway, I initiated the raid, so we are going to Crouch Starling's party now.
Yep.
Good night, chat. Good night, Pen. Good night, Kuro. Good night, Velmer.
Peace out, people.
Good night.
Thanks
Or
for the
good afternoon
follows.
if you're PSP.
Good afternoon, true. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for carrying me, Cam. And alright, it's ready. Alright. Starling Land. You know my boy Starling is always live at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday night.
You're